Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel again. The last video, if you were watching in consecutive order, the last video to air on my channel was the reintroduction video for, I don't know what this is, for my channel and for who I am and what you can expect here. Not gonna lie, I haven't watched it. I just remember filming it. And I want to say another thing that I'm really good at doing is talks here on the channel. Like motivational, inspirational, and just kind of deep talks. Today never fails to amaze me that I can come up with a topic off the top of my head, and I can come up with a lot of things, and I talk to myself when I'm doing my birds, and like I'll be like planning out a whole thing, and it never happens. So I do want to actually get this one down. It won't be long, I promise, but just a little inspiration for you guys. So as I was doing my animals and talking to myself, I have recently put in a job application to somewhere. It's been a week and I haven't heard anything back, so it's not like the end of the world or anything, but like I don't know. I'm really thinking if it doesn't happen, then, and I'm a firm believer in Christ, as you guys know, that if this does not happen, that there are better opportunities out there, that there is a better opportunity, and I'm completely open to that. One thing that I have thought a lot about and long and hard on is wanting to be a farmhand for somebody. I think that would be really cool, and I think that I would learn a lot of very cool information, and also just just create community with people. So that is something that I am working on, per se. I am really excited about that, but my motivation for you guys is don't give up on your dreams. A lot of people do get caught in that, where they're like, oh, I'm this age, it's not going to happen, or I'm this age, or if I don't already have this skill or this skill, then it's not going to happen. No, don't. I challenge that. I challenge that very much so, because everybody has to start somewhere. It doesn't matter if you start here, there, or anywhere, honestly. You can do whatever it is. I started growing a garden, not because I knew how to, not because I knew how to start a seed, not because I had done a lot of information. I had watched a handful of YouTube videos of just people putting seeds in the ground and being done. I didn't know anything about soil. Can't think of the word. Soil. Anything about soil. I didn't know anything about growing in containers. I didn't know that potatoes would be, in my experience, better growing in potatoes than in the ground, because we have such bad soil. I didn't know that tomatoes could be trellised the way that I'm doing them now. I didn't realize that corn isn't going to do good every single year. I didn't realize a lot of things. I didn't realize that you could grow in kiddie pools, and here I am. So yeah, it's all of that, but also so much more. You don't have to start anywhere that somebody else started. I would seriously challenge that, because everybody's right is going to be different, obviously. I have talked about this. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast. Podcast is always linked down below, so if you want to go check them out. My podcast with my friend, with Reagan, check that out. It's in the description below. You can also just search From the Farmyard. We are trying to do some things, and a lot of cool things coming there, but I am most excited about the opportunities that I have. I don't have a lot of opportunities, and yeah, I don't know everything that there is to know, and I would never claim to know everything that there is to know, because we've talked about this in the podcast, we've talked about it a lot of times, I've talked about it a lot. If you claim that you know everything, you're really limiting yourself, because you are saying, I know everything there is to learn. I don't need to learn anything else. So then when something new happens, you're not going to be as, not motivated, to go, but that's the best word that comes to my mind right now. You're not going to be as motivated to go out and try to do that. So, I'm a gardener. I'm not a master gardener. I'm a gardener. And maybe this is something, I don't consider myself a beginning gardener, but if you're trying to learn something, consider yourself a beginner. Look at something from a beginning standpoint. That's what I tried to do. Chicken keeping. Didn't know what I was doing there, but when I was on staying with family friends, I learned a lot about chickens. I was scared to touch their chickens, I'm not gonna lie. And then when I got my own and there was health problems, I was like, oh, I don't have anybody else who can do it for me. I have to do it. Chicken got out. I have to get this chicken. All of that. I learned to garden. Not because I knew how to garden. Out of necessity, I learned how to grow a garden. I know how to start from seed. A lot of people don't know how to do that. Transplanting still scares me, so I am working on that. But that's not the end of the world. Continue working on things. You don't ever get to a point where you just stop. Always work on things and always try to pursue your dreams. I have a longer video talking on this, pursuing your passions, I believe, or following your passions. This ties hand in hand with that. Follow your dreams. Just don't give up. If you don't know the next right thing, do the next. If you don't know, like, long term, you can't get to the big goal yet, do the next right thing. And that's what my channel is about right now, because that's where I am. I am in that do what you can area where I'm gardening in a neighborhood. That's what I'm doing. So I teach people how to do that because that's what I can teach right now. I can't teach you guys how to farm on 30 plus acres. I can teach you how to farm in a small space. And that's what I try to do. That's my next right thing until I get a farm. And then once I get a farm or more property or however that looks, I'll be able to show you guys how to upscale. I'm going to be able to show you guys how to do this. I'm going to show you guys tons of failure, I'm sure. But that's my next right thing to show. I can't just not show something because it's whatever. I can't show you something because it's not perfect. I learned that this year. My garden tours from the farmyard account were not very good. I'm not gonna lie. They were awful. My garden looked like crap. It's a learning curve. And I realized that. I realized I can't just get stuck on that. I can't get stuck on the, oh, well, that, whatever. That's my next right thing. I realized that this year it's not going to be like that. I can't let it happen. I mean, I could let it happen, but I'm not going to, because it's my garden. I want it to look wonderful. It's a place of peace and everything. Last year it was a place of peace, but not as peaceful as it could have been. It takes work to do whatever you're going to do, and I do know that. And I realized my flaws with that. I stopped posting on here. I didn't do any garden tours on here last year, except for like the very first one where everything looked nice and good. But I showed the bad, not realizing what it would lead to now, but I showed the bad because it was the next thing that had to be done. Now I could have sat out here and done and cleaned up the garden, and it wouldn't have taken that long. In hindsight, it would not have taken that long had I have just come out here and done it. But I was dreading it so much that I wasn't. And so yeah, my next thing this year is, well, next year, 2024. This is my thing last year, but I really, really failed at it. I want to get things efficient. Chicken coop's gonna have to be how it is right now. It's probably, the setup probably will never be efficient, which is what it is. I'm fine with that. But I do plan on making things efficient. I plan on adding a garden bed up in the front of the house to grow so much. There's already a garden bed up there, but I need to clean it out. I need to get all of the weeds that won't stop growing out. I need to do all of this, and I need to do it with such a passion. I need to do it with such patience, and that's my next right thing. I know, like, okay, I'll give you guys this example. I know that I'm going to be doing stuff in the garden next year. That's a given. But what I know my next right thing right now. Actually, this is a few bits of advice. What I would do is make a list of, like, for me, my next thing is garden stuff. Well, it's not the next thing, but with my garden, that's the next thing. I know I have to do ducks and stuff like that, so I already have the spaces prepared to be able to move those ducks to collect eggs. But with my garden, I have the spaces. Everything's cleaned out. I need to add more soil, so I know that's the next thing. Well, I know what I need to do I know what I want my garden to look like. So what I do is I go backwards. I break down each steps. How am I going to get to that point of being able to put everything in the soil and it looking okay? I need to add soil. I have the soil right now, so I can go ahead and add to my beds. Will I have to get more soil? Absolutely. That's a given. But it's going to be okay because I have the soil to be able to do some of my spaces now, which is wonderful. Now, when you go over to going back and back and back, I cleaned out my garden beds. My garden beds are cleaned out completely. I just need to get a few random weeds that have popped up here and there before our frosts. And I need to clean up certain areas, like we have a bunch of basketballs in between the beds right now because the wind was really bad and we had nowhere else to put them. So I know that's something that needs to be done, and I need to get them out of the way, and I need to get everything nice and straight for me to be able to organize. I also know I need to order seeds before I can plant my full garden. That is something that I know I need to do, something that I'm going to work on very heavily. Not heavily. I know I need to do that, so I need to be thinking about it, and you need to know what you're going to plant. Planning out your garden. What's going to go here? Do I need a trellis for this thing? Do I need would this be better grown in a different type of container, like a bucket or a kiddie pool or something like that? I know I need to fill up more dirt in my kiddie pools before I can plant in them because they were too low this year. I know that, so I need to do those things, and that's what's going to be done first. For me, that's what the soil is going to go to, so I can get everything planted, and then I can come back in later with more soil if I need to. Other things that I am having to do is just stuff like that. So I don't know where that was going, but like I know that's how I do things. I think backwards. And is that everything? Absolutely not, but it's a big enough picture to where I know this is what I need to do. So starting the garden in the front, I need that garden done I need to have that fully cleaned out by April. So right now we have good days left. We have a few good days, and getting into end of February, March, and April here, I'll be able to go out there and do some things. So I need to start on that, but I know that I want that garden space for this coming up year. I have way more flowers that I want to grow than I could ever potentially grow in the amount of space that I have currently. I need that space to be able to do that. And I'm going to try my hardest to get to that point because I know that that's what needs to happen. I have other projects that I want to work on. I'm going to have ducks that are going to be hatching. I need to plan that enough, and I need to know that whatever I'm doing, maybe the ducks wait a little bit, not a whole year or anything, but maybe they wait until a little bit later and not starting in February. Do I want that to happen? No, but I would be okay with that happening because of other things that need to take a priority over hatching a duck. Now, selling them, you are going to get paid and stuff like that, so that is an upside to my thing of I could hatch out sooner, and then I could have everything that I need, that if I need to buy anything. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Following your dreams and just doing the next right thing. And yeah, sometimes your next right thing is going to be completely unclear. Maybe your next thing is going to get to the point and you're going to be like, well, I want to move. I don't know where to move to, but I want to move. So you need to look at that. Like, I'll give you my breakdown on that. It's not a really very, very big breakdown. A lot of people, once they leave home, they go to college and a dorm or an apartment or whatever. That's not what I'm going to do. I know wherever I go, I want to have enough space to be able to garden. Whether it's a space whether it's a space this same size or bigger. I would prefer bigger because I would be able to add goats. I really want goats very, very badly. So I have that in mind, and I know that I would like to expand my duck flock a little bit, and order at least 10 more chickens. Probably 12. At least 12 more chickens. I want to have room to be able to do my meat birds and stuff like that. So when I'm thinking of that, you always need to be aware of what's going to be the next step. And sometimes an apartment is good for people. Sometimes an apartment is something that you need to do. So I'm not saying don't get an apartment or anything like that. I'm not giving any advice like that. I'm saying if your next right is doing that. My next right could be an apartment. As much as it would suck, it could be. I don't want it to happen like that, but it could very well be. But yeah, I'm very excited about everything that I'm going to be doing with this, and I have so many plans, and I have to take a step back and I have to realize what needs to be done first. How am I able to get to that place? Because I'm really excited about my garden. If I could plant now, I would. I want to do what needs to be done to do this. If it was up to me, everything would still be going, because, well, not everything, but things that were still a little frost hardy would still be going. But I know that my dreams, well, anyone's dreams, not just mine, are only limited by how far that you're willing to think. How far are you willing to go for your dreams? I'm willing to go quite far, as some of you may know. For that, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish that. Yeah, it's gonna hurt at times, but you have to be willing to go after your dreams. And if you're not willing to go after them, then are they really dreams? Do you need to reevaluate that? This has gotten a little bit deeper than I thought it would, but take a look around and just do the next right thing, y'all. Do the next right thing and follow your dreams. You can't don't limit yourself by saying, I can't do this, or whatever. If you want to learn how to can, see if you have any family members that know how to can, any friends that know how to can. If not, find people online who could teach you how to can. There are so many YouTube videos teaching you guys how to can. I don't know how to can. I want to learn how to can. It'll probably be a venture that I take on in 2024 because it's exciting and I want to do something like that. I know how to cook from scratch. A lot of people don't know how to do that. I know how to start from seed. I'm very lucky in that aspect. I know how to raise chickens and ducks. I've learned so much just by having things for a little while. So yeah, follow your dreams and do the next right thing. Or if you don't know the next right thing, start learning skills, whether related to your dream or not. Learn them, and who knows, maybe that could be a way of you getting your dream. If you know how to edit, like Reagan edits all the videos from the Farm Yard account. If you know how to edit, see if anybody needs help editing their YouTube videos. Tons of people are asking for help editing, so go for it. If you know how to edit, do it. That would be good. People are looking for that, so they don't have to edit. And if you're looking for some extra whatever, then go for it. So whatever it looks like, I'm not here to be like, you can't do something or anything. So if you've gotten that impression, that's the wrong impression. I want to teach you guys that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You just have to be willing to try, and you're only limited by how much you dream. So yeah, I will end this here. Got a little random at times, but I do think that it got the point across. I do think that I hope this video got the point across, and I hope that it was able to help you guys do whatever, maybe give you guys a little bit of hope in this downtime, or just help you guys in any sort of way. Or just be like, yeah, I need to go out and I need to do the next right thing. Whatever that may look like. Maybe it's building a few raised beds, or going out and buying a few kiddie pools, or getting buckets. I don't know what your next right is, but I'm here to encourage you, and I'm here to say that you have a God who is watching over you all the time, and he's going to make things happen. It might take some time, but he's going to make it happen. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope this helped you guys, and if you have any questions, as always, leave them in the description, or leave them in the description. Leave them in the comments below, and all links will be in the description. So thank you guys for watching. Bye, y'all.